Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us for the 20th Annual Women of Distinction Awards ceremony. My name is Colleen Smith. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm from Intercultural Student Success in the Division of Student Life.
Hi everyone, my name is Silas Shaw. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a current sophomore studying marketing at the Eberhard School of Business, and we are so excited to be your MCs today. Before we get to the nitty and gritty, I would love to encourage y'all to please use the chat to show your wonderful support for our awardees. Let's get the comments going tonight.
Thanks, Silas. So the Women of Distinction Awards is an annual awards ceremony recognizing women from the Pacific community who have made significant contributions to uplift and empower others, to promote gender and racial equity, and or to inspire future generations of women leaders. It began in spring 2002 as a component of Student Life's Women's Leadership Conference.
So this event has evolved and changed in a lot of ways throughout the years. What will never change is the heart and soul of the event, recognizing and thanking incredible women who have uplifted others and helped to make our communities better for future generations.
So we have quite a few previous Women of Distinction Award recipients with us here today, and we're so very thankful for your ongoing impact, continued support of this event, and for coming out to support our new Women of Distinction today. And to those who we are honoring today, you are joining a legacy of phenomenal women. Each one of our awardees is receiving a beautiful glass sculpture to display proudly as just a small symbol of the large impact that they have had and continue to have.
And to start off this afternoon, it is our pleasure to welcome back to Pacific Rita Fatima, class of 2020, who will grace us with a spoken word piece.
Hi everyone, my name is Rida Fatma. I am very, very grateful to be here today and honored to be able to share some words to start us off today. I've titled this piece, Sisterhood. Kiana knows when I start to get lost. She reminds me the compass is in my heart and the only direction is the one I carve. Rachel holds me in her arms like there is no distance between us, only journeys to selfhood. Between us is keep your head up. Here's a book I want you to read. You can do this. Call me. Yasmin shows me home is where the homies are at. Wholesome energy, holistic vibes, God and good food. Live is the guide, intuition and introspection, stars, self-reflection. Lana, my rock, always present, moves as freely as air anyone who is watching would lose their breath. My kin, my tribe, my women of distinction, many times disenfranchised, we rise, always ready to shine, bring sunlight. Many times disrespected, called disillusioned, we show up hands ready for resistance. In a world full of ignorance, where our bodies are sites of violence, where our communities are silenced, where we are exploited by capital finance, we take a stance for solidarity, for sacrifice, for stopping cycles, for saying no, for sowing new seeds, for struggle, for showing up each day, each breath, each moment, choosing the world we want to make, refusing to be erased by the forces that surround us, choosing love, choosing care, helping one another carry the burdens we bear, checking the knowledge we share, calling out each other to always be fair, to be aware, and choose to act in service of those whose pain we share. Women of distinction, distinctly passionate, distinctly present, demanding justice and action, creating a world of collective satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rita. I'm not sure if folks on the call know, but I've known Rita since I was in high school, when I was 14 years old. And every day she inspires me, every day she motivates me. So thank you so much, Rita, for your empowering message. You inspire many young girls like me who want to be a good leader in this community. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you so much, Rita.
It is now time to honor our women of distinction. This year, we are so excited to honor 10 incredible women who, through their actions, have paved pathways for young girls and women in the future. Our recipients have dedicated themselves to breaking down barriers, creating inclusive spaces, empowering our students, and inspiring future leaders. And we're truly very lucky to have them play such important roles here at Pacific and in our communities.
The information that we'll be sharing about the awardees is coming directly from their nominations. Awardees who are speaking have been asked to also share with us what motivates them, inspires them, and gives them hope while doing this work. So without further ado, let's start celebrating our amazing awardees.
Yes, and our very first award recipient is Rida Fatima. And as a CIP scholar, Rita has always been very active in the Stockton community. She is an award-winning spoken word artist who uses this art to educate others about issues that they may not be aware of and calls out the social justices in the world with a call to action attached. She has interned at many nonprofits in Stockton, as well as the mayor's office and in the Washington, D.C. region. As a student here at Pacific, Rita demonstrates a strong commitment to her education and strong work ethic, balancing her academic studies, employment, community engagement, and family commitments. Wow, so inspirational. And as a valued member of the sociology department, she contributed to the department in many ways as a student rep and through her courses by elevating the level of critical commentary, particularly around inclusion and diversity. Rita embraces the many intersecting identities she carries and uses her experiences, empathy, and voice to be an impactful change agent. Rita, you are a Woman of Distinction recipient.
Rita, do you want to come back on and say a few words?
Yes, I just thank you so much. Thank you so much. Listening to those words and Sahila, hearing you say that you're inspired just like humbles me so much. Thank you to all the amazing women in my life. Some of the ones that I got to mention in my poem, and also Allison, Alicia, so many just amazing women that have helped shown me the way. And remind me every step of the way to not forget. So thank you.
Absolutely. Congratulations again, Rita. And again, thank you so much for that powerful piece. So our next recipient is Yuki Nagase. So I don't know if you all know, but a large number of classical concerts actually have no women composers on the program. And many professional orchestras can go years without featuring the work of women. Recognizing this bias and inequity, Yuki Nagase organized a concert for International Women's Day 2020, featuring women composers and performers. She raised the funds, she marketed, and she selected the repertory for the event. This event was not only an empowerment opportunity for women, but helped all to see that there is a great untapped audience for women composers and performers. Such an event has the power to change the repertory that many students and even ensemble directors choose to program and can touch the lives of every conservatory student. Yuki is a role model to other women musicians in the conservatory. She has been a principal bassist since her first year and has even worked as a sub with 2 professional orchestras. She navigates the sexism and racism that exists with grace in a way that other young musicians would like to emulate. Yuki is an advocate for the needs of all students. Yuki Nagase, you are a woman of distinction. Let's give it up for Yuki.
Thank you. And our next recipient is Alicia Perry. Woo! Alicia has been a mentor to me and many other young kids on the campus. She's an advisor, a friend, an advocate, and a cheerleader for many students, colleagues, and neighbors. Through her years in the CIP program, she has worked to develop, support, and empower students, both in the program and out. She always puts students first, and I can attest to that, and helps them identify and achieve their goals. She has been a strong support, advisor, and collaborator with many student organizations, including Black Student Union, Pacific Women in Business, and the Three Seats Non-Traditional Student Association, which helps provide support and community to student parents and non-traditional students. Alicia is also the founder and CEO of local nonprofit Three Seats, providing much needed resources to local families and heavily focused on the 3 E's: education, employment, and empowerment. Alicia is an amazing woman who continually advocates for and empowers marginalized and underrepresented students and youth in the community. Alicia Perry, you are a woman of distinction.
Wow. I remember a couple of years ago sitting at a Women of the Distinction award ceremony, and I was thinking, this is so beautiful, this is so empowering. And after hearing the stories of our awardees, I just wanted to stand up and say, bravo, woohoo, like, you go, girl. And I just wanted to give so many positive affirmations to all the awardees. You know, that people hear when they are recognized for a job well done. But now I'm standing here, virtually here on the other side of the podium, realizing that I am being watched. Someone was seeing me, and someone thought I should hear, bravo, job well done. As many of you know, I am a doer, and sometimes it's hard for me to receive. I don't expect accolades. Honestly, I like to revel in seeing other people's accomplishments, like many of our students, my colleagues, and community members that are being awarded today. But today, I'm going to accept this honor. I want to thank the people that nominated me for seeing me. Thank you. I want to thank the people in my life, my hubby, my kids, my family, both near and far, who are by my side, weathering my storms with me. My friends, and I don't use that word often, who have uplifted me with powerful, positive words and prayers. You know who you are. The ones who have adjusted my crown so many times. I want to thank the University of Pacific, my employer, the Women of Distinction Committee for having this platform for 20 years, and my community for allowing me to belong. I just want to end this by saying, in my line of work, one of the most important things to me in my life is being. Be who you are. Love yourself while doing it. I love the saying, dance like no one else is watching. So do that dance. Live your life that way. Find peace within yourself. Be kind to others and shine your own light when you need to. I give you permission to. Oyana, forever, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Alicia, and congratulations. I'm already feeling empowered, so thank you so much. And our next awardee, I'm super excited to announce, is Dr. Teresa Bergman. Dr. Bergman is a well-loved faculty member and chair of Pacific's Communication Department. Throughout her tenure at Pacific, she has empowered many women coming through the department to find their voice as women in academia and their respective fields and speak up in the various facets of their lives. Dr. Bergman not only empowers individuals on campus daily with her inspiring classes and commitment to encourage students to claim their own voices, but her efforts expand farther than the university's campus. Dr. Bergman has written and published 2 books, one of which, The Commemoration of Women in the United States, Remembering Women in Public Space. This book is a form of advocacy that empowers and mobilizes individuals across the country to not only increase the numbers of memorials to women, but to interrogate how women are being seen and remembered. She consistently and positively challenges her students and peers to push the boundaries of what it means to question the status quo and advocate for others. Dr. Teresa Bergman, you are a woman of distinction.
Well, thank you. That really gets a great introduction there. And I want to thank you, Colleen, and all the folks at the Gender Equity Center and the communication graduate students, Amber Mateer and Kelly Hutchison, for nominating me for this award. And I also want to thank the people who keep me really focused and who are so unconditionally supportive of me. Marcia Hernandez, Carolyn Cohn, Cynthia Dobbs, Jennifer Helgren, and my husband, Phil Garone. I love the prompt that you gave, Colleen, for this little talk about what motivates you, inspires you, and gives you hope in doing this important work. And what I love about the prompt is the recognition that inspiration, hope, and work are all connected. I am inspired by the students I work with. I get to see how they encounter feminist struggles, how they continue the good fight. I'm motivated by the women that I researched for my book on commemoration of women in the United States, and I try my best to recognize the challenges of their time and how they organized for women's rights and fought the good fight. I'm hopeful because I see the good fight continuing by such a wide array of folks. As we continue to listen to each other and recognize the deep intersectionality of the good fight. The combination of getting to work with such wonderful students and colleagues, writing about how we recognize women's contributions publicly, and having such outstanding organizations like the Gender Equity Center all motivate and inspire my work and continuing to fight the good fight. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much and congratulations. Our next, well, actually, some of you may be familiar, I am, with our next recipient, Randy Holguin. Randy is a light to those she serves and those who are around her. She is highly involved in both the Stockton and Pacific community through her work as a CIP Chase mentor, member of Community Involvement Program Student Association, ASUP Arts Entertainment, and most recently advocating for her fellow Pacific students as the ASUP Student Body President. As the ASUP President, Randy has worked tirelessly to promote social justice through the creation of a council that was designed to focus purely on equity and inclusion. In doing so, her initiatives have directly given a voice to students who have traditionally felt unheard and supported. And she also supported the retention efforts for underrepresented communities on campus. Her mentorship in the community directly impacts some of the most underserved communities and students in Stockton and provides hope and light for what is possible and what can be achieved. One of Randy's nominated describes her as a maverick, a quiet storm who encourages others, helps her peers celebrate their identities, creates the environment for unity and solidarity through the involvement and education. The consummate professional, fair, wise, mature beyond her years, and possessing tremendous integrity. Randy Holguin, you are a woman of distinction.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And similar to Alicia, I've sat in these Women of Distinction Awards and been so happy to see everybody receive their awards and give their speeches, and it's all so inspiring. And so to find out that I was nominated was honestly just full circle moment. I was so grateful to be nominated just because I've watched everybody and I was like, wow, I wish that I could be like that kind of woman, a woman of distinction. And so today I'm very honored and blessed to be here and to receive this award. And I just want to thank my family. I was raised by very strong women, and I wouldn't be the woman I am today if it wasn't for them. My CIP family, because I wouldn't be at Pacific if I didn't have my CIP scholarship, if I didn't have my CIP family support, and the amazing female mentors that I've had in that program, Allison, Alicia, Tracy, and so many others that I've gotten to learn from. It's been such a blessing, and I'm so grateful. And also just reflecting upon what motivates me, what inspires me and gives me hope. As Sila mentioned, I created a diversity or a department for diversity, equity, inclusion, and it just felt like the right thing. It felt like it was needed. And I know it came at a perfect time where, you know, the world is dealing with a lot that comes with race and gender and just fighting for us and being seen and being heard. And I felt like it was the perfect fit on Pacific's campus. Even before all of that, it's much needed. And I just want to see that on my Pacific community. I love it so much. And it matters. It truly does matter when you give people voices, when you give people a place to be represented. I know I felt that within my own program and within the things I've been involved with at Pacific. And so it's an honor to be able to bring that to other students. And thank you for those that nominated me. I really appreciate it that you see that in me. Those words were strong, and I'm just so honored. So thank you so much. And of course, to my professors, Professor Matthews, Professor Ortiz, and Professor King, such strong women that I'm so blessed to be able to learn from, and they inspire me and encourage me and really are who keep me here and keep me learning. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I really appreciate this. And thank you, Colleen and Sila, for being our MCs today and awarding me this. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, and congratulations once again. So well deserved, Randy, and I'm so excited that we get to honor you in this way for all of your hard work. And this is an interesting transition into our next awardee. So our next recipient is Dr. Sasha Joseph Matthews. As a professor of marketing, Dr. Joseph Matthews knows a thing or two about branding, and she has built a strong brand and reputation here at Pacific as an impactful educator, colleague, and advocate. Dr. Joseph Matthews empowers and uplifts all her students, particularly those from historically marginalized communities, making them feel heard, supported, and inspired. Dr. Joseph Matthews was the perfect choice to serve as the new chair of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee within the Eberhart School of Business, as she weaves her passion for DEI into all that she does in her classroom, on campus, and beyond. Whether it be working with local businesses to help catapult their brand to more success, or working with local students to make them feel included and a part of Pacific's community, Dr. Joseph Matthews understands the community and is able to enhance the area around her and provide amazing leadership for change within it. Dr. Joseph Matthews embodies what it is to be a strong, graceful, and a leading Black woman, inspiring young women of color to thrive in the classroom, the boardroom, and beyond. Dr. Sasha Joseph Matthews, you are a woman of distinction.
Thank you so much, Colleen and Sila, for this wonderful opportunity. I'm really, really grateful and blessed to be given this honor and this distinction today. And thank you, Randy, for being such an amazing student, right? And for giving me that shout out before my award. I really appreciate it. So I want to say, of course, thank you to everyone. Thank you for the nomination, and to my family. Thank you to my faculty who makes me a better person every day, to the staff that I work with, to my students who I love tremendously and who I always push to excellence. Sila knows that I expect a lot and I demand a lot from her, but she delivers every time. And I want to say just thanks to the Pacific community, because it has really been so fabulous working here for 15 plus years, right? I always tell people, you know, I came out of the womb with a PhD because I think I look like if I'm 5, right? So I have excellent genes and better hair dye. So thank you so much to everyone. I just wanted to say, you know, people always say to me, boy, Sasha, you never hesitate to speak your mind. You always keep it 100%. And I always kind of think to myself, you have no idea how many other things that I'm thinking that I don't see, right? That I have to kind of figure out, how am I going to present this? But I really do strive for a world and look forward to a world when women can just be who they want to be, and that's enough. And they don't have to think about how they're going to present themselves in a way that other people approve of. And they can just keep it 100%, and that is enough. And I am really appreciative of the fact that even though I don't think to myself that I can always keep it 100%, I do push many members of my community and they accept it. They go with the flow. My students accept it. the amazing faculty at ESB that I work with, they go along for the ride, and the staff does too. And so I'm honored and blessed to work at an institution that allows me to be SJM, as so many of my students know me as. And so thank you so much to the committee for awarding me this incredible honor. And thank you to all who's helped me to be the individual that I am today. So thank you for this blessing. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. An amazing, amazing professor. I want to take 5 more classes with you if it was possible. So thank you so much. Now we'll be moving on to our next recipient, who is Dr. Helgren. And Dr. Helgren has been described as the epitome of the teacher, scholar, university citizen model. She's an associate professor of history and currently holds 2 administrative positions, chair of the Department of History and director of gender studies. Through these roles, Dr. Helgren works tirelessly to support women students through mentoring and advising. Dr. Helgren is a staunch supporter of women students and faculty. She started a peer support scholarship group with other women faculty in the social sciences and humanities. She has held leadership positions with the Western Association of Women Historians and has led, I'm mispronouncing this really badly, but pedagogy workshops on teaching women's history. Beyond her extensive leadership, teaching, and advising on campus, she has also developed a close association with the Filipino community here in Stockton over years of work with the Little Manila Digital History Project. She has organized many empowering events, engaging guest speakers and powerful lectures for Pacific students. And her advocacy for curricular and programmatic diversity, equity, and inclusion has been a model for her colleagues. Dr. Jennifer Helgren, you are a woman of distinction.
And at this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Helgren to say a few words. Dr. Helgren, can you unmute?
Oh, yeah, now I
put
can
on
unmute.
video. There we go. Yay. Hi.
I just wanted to say thank you to the people who nominated me and to the Women of Distinction Committee. It is such an honor to join this list of amazing women who are previous Women of Distinction. And I just also wanted to say that it's been such an honor to serve gender studies and the Title IX committee over the last few years, that working with women on this campus, students and faculty who are committed to gender equity and social justice, who work for that every day. It really does give us all an opportunity to shine. So thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Helgren. I'm so happy to honor you with this award today. Our next recipient is Dr. Elizabeth Trainer. Liz Trainer goes above and beyond the scope of her role as Pacific's Title IX coordinator for all 3 campuses, working towards equity, access, and inclusive excellence. Liz works across silos to spread awareness and increase collaboration, improving the overall climate at Pacific. Liz is responsive to legal changes, keeping Pacific far beyond the floor of federal law. In the summer of 2020, Liz headed a team to revise Pacific's policy prohibiting sexual misconduct in accordance with new federal regulations that came out in May. Her tremendous energy and effort resulted in the successful adoption of an interim policy, assuring that Pacific has policies that serve our students. Liz has also been tapped to lead a group of students, faculty, and staff to draft a new university policy prohibiting identity-based harassment, discrimination, and retaliation. She consistently models inclusive language, practice, and pedagogy, fostering welcoming, safe, and accessible learning environments for all Pacific students. Dr. Elizabeth Trainer, you are a woman of distinction.
Well, thank you so much for those kind words and for taking the time to nominate me, whoever the nominator was. This award really embodies everything that I strive to do in my day-to-day being. So thank you so much. I'm humbled and honored to be recognized in this way, to be in such amazing company with the recipients that are being honored today, as well as the legacy of our past recipients. I'm motivated and inspired by the many members of this university campus who have committed to doing this work. As Title IX coordinator, I strive to provide an equitable process to respond to allegations that are brought forward that may be violations of our sexual misconduct policy, but I couldn't do it without the amazing members of our Title IX Coordinating Council and the Title IX team, most of whom are doing this not because it's a part of their formal job description, but because they recognize how important this work is. I think you'd be hard pressed to find many institutions of any size that have over 100 people who have agreed to serve as voluntary deputies, investigators, decision makers, and advisors to support the process. So I want to take this moment to thank the countless volunteers who are serving in these crucial roles. I also want to thank the many people who have mentored and inspired me over the years, particularly those who got started with me when I started working formally within Title IX. Lori, Cynthia, Carly, Karen, Gordy, David, Karen, Kristen, Laura, and the many others who helped steer the ship with me at a time when we really had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. The team at Atixa that have given me a professional home and endless guidance when the sands are constantly shifting, including Sonny, Kim, Mandy, Brett, Scott, Tanika, Leah, Leslie, Daniel, Katie, Kate, Catherine, Ryan, Megan, and the entire Atixa community. I also want to thank Mrs. Hawk, who's the reason I'm in education. Elizabeth for nudging me into the field of higher education in particular to begin with. And then the many role models that I've had over the years, Kathy, Ryan, Leah, Rachel, too many to name, so I'm going to stop there. And finally, I want to thank my family and friends, many of whom are on this call today, including my husband, who's my rock, and my ultimate role model, my mom, who's celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mom.
Thank you so much, Dr. Trainer. Happy birthday to your mom. A lot of support and wishes. Thank you so much for being an inspiration. Our next recipient is double alum and former CIP scholar, Mary Aguirre. Mary Aguirre has tirelessly given of her time and energy to individuals and community organizations over the past 30 years through her role as a DA and supporter of Pacific and the Community Involvement Program. Mary started her career at a time when the San Joaquin County District Attorney's Office was pretty much a white male-dominated field within a white male-dominated criminal justice system. Her strength of character, her commitment to her core values, being well-versed in the interpretation and application of the law, and determination to always do the right thing has carried Mary far, very far. She has distinguished herself in every possible way and has earned the utmost respect professionally and throughout her community.
She has served UOP for years as a mentor and advisor to students, serving over a decade as an advisor on the CIP Advisory Board, the Upward Bound program, and has helped create and sustain the Community Involvement Program Alumni Club for the past several years. Mary annually sits on the CIP student interviews and is deeply involved in all things having to do with the Community Involvement Program to ensure its success and legacy. Mary's passion for serving is the quintessential gift that keeps on giving. According to one nominator, Mary truly embodies what it means to be a servant leader, and her care and compassion for others is unmatched. I can't think of a more deserving alumna and member of the Stockton community to receive this award. Mary Aguirre, you are a woman of distinction.
Congratulations, Mary. Sorry, I'm a bit shocked because this is my special award that we're handing out. And our next is, as I mentioned, is a very special award. And for the first time, we are honoring a very special Pacifican with a Woman of Distinction Icon Award. We've asked a few friends to help us present this award. So please enjoy this video celebrating our Women of Distinction icon.
Today, we honor Dr. Judy Chambers with Pacific's unique Woman of Distinction Icon Award. Judy Chambers is a much-loved and well-known member of the university's family. Though she first joined Pacific as a student, Judy returned to serve the university in numerous ways, from assistant to the president, coordinator of international education programs, dean of students, and of course, Pacific's first woman vice president for student life from 1975 until 2001.
During this time, Judy built a nationally recognized program, as well as mentoring many colleagues who went on to become university leaders in their own right. She established herself as a national leader in the field of student life, serving as president of the National Association of Student Personnel Administrators, NASPA, as well as receiving numerous professional awards, including NASPA's Fred Turner Award for outstanding service to the student affairs profession.
Throughout her tenure at Pacific, Judy has always been a trailblazer, a leader in her field, and a true woman of distinction. Judy empowered others through her leadership, advocacy, and friendship. Her contributions to Pacific, its students, staff, and the community, and the student life profession are still evident today.
Again, always the trailblazer, Judy was one of the first 2 women in the United States to join Rotary Club and the first woman to join the Stockton Rotary Club. Judy, too, served as a member of the Stockton Business Executive Leadership Committee, the board of directors for Stockton Beautiful, vice president of Delta Healthcare, and continues to be an active volunteer for the United Way.
Judy was one of the first recipients of the prestigious Athena Award from the Stockton Chamber of Commerce. In 1981, President Reagan appointed Judy to serve on the Student Loan Marketing Association, also known as Sallie Mae. When appointed, she was the first woman and the first non-university president to serve on the board, which she did for 9 years.
In addition to higher education and local community impact, Judy was appointed by California's governor to represent California on the Western Interstate Commission on Higher Education. The U.S. Department of Education also invited Judy to be one of a small group of educators appointed to write the standards of the network to promote drug-free colleges and universities. The San Joaquin Commission on the Status of Women honored Judy by inducting her as a woman of distinction in education.
Judy's contribution to the advancement of women and inclusion are evident in student affairs, Stockton and its citizens, and the University of the Pacific, all who have benefited from her leadership and support.
Judy is a professional and public leader who has always inspired others through her values and innovation. Her exemplary leadership and mentoring, her commitment to enhancing gender equity and inclusion. She is a woman who possesses a passion for others and breathes life and energy into our community. Judy, you are truly a woman of distinction and University of the Pacific icon. Please join me in celebrating Dr. Judy Chambers.
All right, everyone, please join me in the chat. Shout out Judy Chambers. Congratulations on this incredible honor, Judy. And you know, as someone who's looked up to you for a long time, I'm so honored to be able to present you with this award. It is so well deserved. So at this time, Judy, I'd like to invite you to share a few words with us.
Thank you so much, Colleen. I would like to say a few words. I can't unmute my video.
Uh-oh.
It says you can't start your video because the host has stopped it.
There we go. There you are, Judy. We can see you now.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, and you have a beautiful background, might I add.
Oh, thanks. It's I tell people that's my backyard, but I don't ever get away with it because there's a Pacific sign right in the middle. Well, I am just overwhelmed. Talk about your life before you. that video was really something, and I thank you so much for putting it together. And it was wonderful to see so many people that I haven't seen for so long. I do have to say, watching that video, I'm not sure that most of my family and friends would even recognize who you were talking about, but I thought it was just great. Well, let me just begin by telling you how honored, humbled, and surprised I was to hear from Allison that she had nominated me for this award. And then when she told me that I was selected, I was almost speechless, almost. I had, of course, known about this event, even though it started after I left student life, but I read about it each year. And at that time, I knew many of the students and the people, the faculty and the people from town who were recognized. And to this day, I continue to be impressed annually, and for so many years, the women that you have chosen who demonstrate excellence in leadership, thoughtfulness of purpose, and courageous goals. And today is simply another example of that. The faculty and the women who work in the community and our students, they just keep getting better and better and better. And I especially appreciate the involvement of some of my colleagues who participated in that video that I still see and cherish. And don't get me started on those stories because I could go on forever. So I only want to say how really honored I am to be part of this event. And I thank you for it. And I wish all of you continued success in the wonderful work that you all are doing, both on and off the campus. And thank you so much.
Judy, thank you so much for being just such an inspiration to so many of us. Truly, truly a woman of distinction. Thank you. So that just about concludes our 20th annual Women of Distinction Awards ceremony. As we wrap up, we would like to take a moment to pause and be present in this moment in time. We are just about to the end of the month of March, Women's History Month.
Thank you. Sorry, it was just such an amazing event. I'm still in awe that I'm in presence of such strong women. And we're proudly witnessing history as our first woman and women of colors in the White House, and along with many other trailblazing women in the cabinet level positions. We continue to shed a light on the injustices that have existed and continue to exist with social justice movements led primarily by Black women.
And we are a year into a global pandemic, which has caused devastating harm to many communities. And we are only beginning to learn about the unique impact that it's having on women's lives.
So let us remember to celebrate Women's History Month year-round, as we should. Throughout history, we continue to see the strength, leadership, ingenuity, and resilience of women. Let us remember those women who have paved the pathways for where we are now. Let us seek to learn that history, and let us be inspired by that history, and let us do in solidarity, uplifting one another along the way.
I have to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our wonderful planning committee. Dr. Marcia Hernandez, Dr. Tracy Roberts-Camps, Sanaya Manning, our wonderful student representative, Jean Callahan, Ashton Ricketts, Rebecca Stovall, Chelsea Skinner, Allison Dumas, and myself, Colleen Smith. I want to shout out Celia Castro for the wonderful graphics, Rebecca for the tech support, because whew, that was a lot. Thank you, Rebecca. And of course, to Silas Shaw for being a wonderful co-host.
And thank you To our previous awardees who we continue to see doing amazing things, and most importantly, thank you. And also congratulations to this year's Women of Distinction.
Congratulations to you all. Well, thank you all so much for joining us on this Pacific Proud Friday afternoon, and we wish you a wonderful and safe weekend. Be well.